Hi everyone, this is Gaming Bible. I'm Mike. I'm with Tom.
Hello there.
Hey Tom. And this is the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo from Gamescom, possibly E3, and definitely the Tokyo Game Show.
And this is you playing, right?
This is me playing.
You lucky man.
Yes, indeed. So we previously got to play a bit of Final Fantasy VII Remake, but we weren't allowed to capture that. Any previous videos you may have seen of us showing this game off have been, from B-roll, etc. But this is us playing through what fans of the original game will immediately recognize as one of the Mako reactors, the first Mako reactor of the game, where you as Cloud, not just as Cloud, it must be stressed, because you can also control Barrett here, who's the fella with Cloud here, you're going to plant a bomb.
Very nice. So it's following the exact same setup for in the opening.
Yeah. In terms of story beats, this is certainly at the beginning the same as what we saw in the 1997 game. Obviously, anyone who's been following this game will know that the gameplay has slightly changed. You'll see here there are kind of hack and slash elements to the game. You can kind of hammer away with quite low impact attacks, but you can see here now you've got the ATB gauge active. You can see in the bottom right how that fills up, and you use that in basically the same way as you used the original combat in the first final, in the original Final Fantasy game, the ATB system where you can kind of take a little bit of time, choose your options. I love how my guy just falls over there. So that's when you can activate certain abilities, certain spells and stuff. You'll see next time we're in combat that we have the ATB gauge fills up, and it has kind of 2 points on it where you get to activate those abilities. So you can use a lot of Cloud's moves, like he's got his Braver move, he's got like a thrust move. Barrett's got various, obviously, gun-based attacks, because he has a gun on his arm, you'll be able to see. The characters do look amazing.
They do. They look absolutely stunning. They kind of remind me, they're very similar to Advent Children.
So this is where I show my naivety, I suppose. Like, I played Final Fantasy VII. I played through it twice, the original game, on PlayStation, and since it's been re-released for other systems. But that kind of wider world of Final Fantasy VII, I wasn't so into. I played a bit of Crisis Core, but that was about it. So Advent Children kind of passed me by. But I guess if you're a fan of that and you're making that connection here, that's a good thing, I guess, for the...
Especially if you're looking back at the complete edition, which was absolutely stunning when it was released. One thing I have to know, what are in the boxes? You were knocking some boxes open.
Oh, yeah. So, there are treasure chests around, which I always think is funny. Here you are in an industrial area, like a power plant, and there's just treasure chests around. But yeah, there are storage containers, which you can whack with your Buster Sword and break them open, and you'll find little perks and little bonuses in there, yeah.
And do they affect combat? Anything in there?
Not particularly. You'll get a little, when you see one, it might give a little plus, a little boost to something. But it must be stressed as well for this demo. I think Cloud and Barrett are a little bit overpowered from where they would otherwise be. There's no need to use Cure so much. Their attacks are pretty strong. And you can see these boxes here. We'll break those open momentarily. Use some fire effects here, or fire magic.
That slow motion effect is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, you just saw one there. I switched from controlling Cloud to controlling Barrett. So you can bounce between the two characters like that. Alternatively, you'll see when it goes into the ATB mode, you can also issue issue commands to them, so you don't have to take control of them. You can kind of do it remotely. I actually quite like bouncing between the two. And the more... generic, the kind of small impact attacks you do, that builds up the ATB bar and unlocks your higher abilities. We're going to get something here. What's that? I missed what that was, but he walked over it. It was something blue. They're just little tiny pickups, they're scattered around.
I will say the limit break seems to build up slower.
So the limit break is based on the damage you receive. So
that's why.
when you're taking a pounding, your limit break gauge will go up, and just like the original game, both Barrett and Cloud will have limit breaks. While playing this demo, I got to see both. I can tell you in advance that you might see one of those coming up when we fight the Scorpion Guard or the Guard Scorpion. It depends on which version of the game you've played.
Look at that.
So there's the Mako under there, which Barrett's very keen on protecting. He's I say obviously, it depends who you played it before. He's like kind of the leader of this resistance, these eco-terrorist movement called Avalanche, that Cloud here, who is a former member of Soldier, has joined. We're going to get a cutscene now.
I love these cutscenes. They're so much more emotive than just the old text boxes.
It's kind of crazy, really, because this is like the characters of your imagination when you were playing the game in 1997 come to life in an amazing kind of rendition of what you were kind of the gaps you were filling in, I suppose, from their blocky hands and these little kind of like cute little characters, and now here they are as
Barrett sounds mad.
Barrett's a very angry man. He definitely, I mean, this is a game obviously made very much for 21st century taste. So like when there's profanity, like he swears.
Yeah.
He is.
Interesting bit here. Like this bit happens in the original.
Yes.
But the feather doesn't drop in the original, from my memory.
Yeah,
like, that's from Sephiroth. I'm guessing it's his.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, there is a feather. I think on the title menu, I think maybe of the original game, there's a feather motif there. Yeah, no doubt someone's in the comments telling us we're wrong, but please comment and let us know what the feather's all about. But you can see, Cloud's obviously had a bit of a moment there, and here comes the boss. So this is the first boss of the game.
So much more intricate. Like I remember watching this earlier today, and I was the way it jumps around and the actual beats of the fight. The original was just one location, one fight.
Yeah.
This has different phases to it, which is a whole new addition.
So this guard Scorpion, or Scorpion Guard, is now called the Scorpion Sentinel, but it's the same battle basically. And you'll see here I switch between characters again. So here I am as Barrett trying to bring up commands, but they're not active yet. I haven't done enough damage. But now Barrett will have one active. If you look at the bottom right, his ATB's building up. Cloud will definitely have one ready.
So you're drawing fire. Barrett's drawing fire right now. Yeah. You're getting attacked in from behind with Cloud.
Exactly.
So there's a layer of strategy to these new...
Yeah, totally. I mean, they will... If you're not controlling them, they'll go about their business. But you have to get them to do their kind of special attacks, basically. Like Barrett will keep on, firing away at this Scorpion. But you want to actually take control of him or command him. Again, like because it's a demo, you get these little pop-ups here telling you what to do. Spoiler: this was my second run at the demo, so I'm a little bit.
You kind of know what you're doing.
I'm aware of what I'm doing, and I have played Final Fantasy VII before, so I know that this Scorpion is vulnerable to thunder magic. Which Barrett has, which is pretty handy.
This is what I'm saying. The new phases of the battles.
Yeah. So this boss is in a few different phases. So it will now adopt more of a defensive pose. It's got a shield around it. You have to kind of target a different part of the Scorpion. So you can see it's got a field generator, so you want to destroy that first.
So this kind of feels like how they're fleshing out the remake, because obviously the remake is not the whole of Final Fantasy VII.
No. So we're in Midgar right now, one of the main cities in the game, and so far as we know, or so far as we've been told, the Final Fantasy VII remake that comes out in March will kind of be part one of the remake, and it will focus all on Midgar. Still 2 Blu-rays worth apparently, so we're regularly told. But yeah, like I imagine every boss fight is going to be this kind of more layered approach to things.
Yeah.
I didn't actually. Oh, there you go. There goes its its field generator. So that's down. It's on the wall now.
I will say, I remember there being more pipes.
More pipes.
I remember running along pipes, less bridges.
Yeah. So the way down to this, we have seen like fighting through enemies, like more kind of like generic soldiers and stuff. So this demo kind of just puts us at the end of that. We saw Jessie at the very start, but she's helped us into this point. Still a little bit flirtatious with Cloud as she was in the original, which is good to see. I say it's good to see. It's good that the kind of tone of the characters is kind of as you remember. So we've staggered him here. You'll see below the boss is health bar. There is a smaller orange bar. So we've managed to get him staggered, and then we can just like plow him with these stronger attacks. You see, we've got Braver, we've got Triple Slash. Here's Braver. Yeah. Barrett can use what's he got here. Some abilities. Some abilities that he has.
We are building up soon to the limit break, from what I remember, aren't we?
Yeah. So you can see it on Barrett's stats down the bottom right that he's taken some damage. His magic points are very low. We could obviously get those back. We can use an ether.
My imagination of this fight wasn't even this vivid. They've taken this so far.
It's got some fantastic direction. We'll see here now. Like this was never in the original. There was a bit in the original where you shouldn't hit the Scorpion. It will do you damage.
It was always mentioned that the tail attacks.
Exactly
but
right.
This takes it to a whole new level.
So what you've got there is you have to take defensive maneuvers. You have to hide behind the debris that falls. What you can do in that situation, though, obviously its tail can only target one of you. So what I could have done then is if Cloud was being targeted or Barrett, I could have switched to the other one and just kept attacking. So yeah, there's a lot of... I mean, not that the original, and the games that use ATB, that kind of battle system, that turn-based battle system, they're not strategic, but there are extra levels to this, definitely. In addition to the fact that you can, just move your characters around the battlefield, which genuinely feels amazing to like take control of Cloud and just weigh in with these sword attacks just to break parts of this Scorpion and leave it vulnerable is fantastic.
I'm just so enamored watching it, just how far we've come from that original game.
And it has been 22 years, I suppose, or 23 by the time this comes out next year, I suppose. But I mean, they say, the classics never go out of style, and Final Fantasy VII has endured in a way that there's no way that its original makers at Square could have ever predicted. And remake. Oh, so here we go. We've got another phase of this hiding behind thing. So the Scorpion's attacking Cloud. So myself as Barrett here, I could emerge from cover there and do some damage.
That cover is destructible as well. That's
the Scorpion will break it. So if it goes back to Cloud's position, you'll see that what was in front of him was broken.
In slow motion,
yeah. Lots of lovely effects going on. You can see the damage dealt by those sort of basic attacks is pretty low, but it opens it up to what we got here. Oh, we got a limit break. There we go. So
finally.
we're using, and that's done some massive damage. The Scorpion's nearly done now.
And now it kind of goes into that awesome laser show, is it? Wait, it just goes mental.
It's having a bit of a... It's actually, you saw there, it's got... It's healed a little bit of itself. I think that's not something I noticed when I first did it. Oh, it's got the other... You've got to destroy the legs and things. So yeah, you can target the legs, there you go, and really, really take it out then. And we're going to get a...
Nearly done it now, haven't you?
Yeah, and we'll use an ability, use the classic Braver on the Scorpion, and that should be that.
It looks absolutely amazing. Like, the fact they've taken it so far now, and I love the extra details they've gone into, and they could have just done a very basic remake. They could have gone, obviously, in 3D, but they've taken it so much further with these phases and additions. You can really see how they are stretching this title out.
Oh, it totally... I mean, it's funny because our idea of a remake these days... I mean, remasters and remakes get confused all the time, but a remake like Shadow of the Colossus, which is basically the old game with new assets.
Spyro, Reignite.
Spyro, for instance, yeah, exactly. Crash and those kind of games, these remakes. But this is, it's called a remake, it does go beyond that, and there we are. That's the end of the demo. It kind of needs to be something other than remake, I think. I don't know, reimagining maybe or something.
It makes more sense. So when can we play this? When is it
From
out?
May the 3rd next year.
May the 3rd?
March the 3rd. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom.